Good evening, knife enthusiasts. Knife Detector here. And I wanted to take this time to make a brief video and to share my good fortune with you. So a couple of weeks ago, and I was at a garage sale, which is kind of funny because it was kind of like out of a garage or storage facility. And what I noticed was that there was something sticking out of a jar with some knickknacks in it. And what I saw was a 152, a Schrade 152. And it didn't look like this when I found it. The tip was broken and it was really dull and rusty. You couldn't make out the color of the rivets or old timer. Everything was corroded and blemished and had rust spots all over it. You couldn't see any of the base metal of the blade or the tang. It was just black and rusty, all of it. So I had already gone ahead and I had purchased this Schrade 152 OT, which is like the great-great-grandson of the 152. Now you'll notice that this one is made in China. And I thought it might be an interesting video to go over some of the differences of both of these, if there are any. And there are a few that I noticed. And so it's going to be short and brief. Another reason I wanted to make this video is I'm trying to decide whether or not to keep this knife, the old one. I like it. It's a small knife. In fact, I liked it so much that I made a sheath for it, this little guy, that fits it quite well. Just because I didn't have the sheath that went with it, I figured I could go ahead and make one pretty easily. And I made it kind of quick, so it ain't perfect. But it does work just fine. Snaps closed if I wanted to. It's made for your belt. No problems. But I could just use the one from this one. Now, this sheath that the new knife came with, guys, is not a very thick leather. It doesn't feel like those old school sheaths. It feels like these stitchings could come loose at any time. I like the shape of it, but that's about it. The rest of it feels pretty flimsy. It's very light to begin with. As I stated, this new one is made in China. I prefer the sheath that I made that's thicker, that I can use. It's a little more durable. But in any case, I'm going to continue comparing these. So one of the things I noticed right off is that on the old one, it says Schrade USA 152 and nothing on the other side. On the new one, it says 152 OT, made in China. So I noticed also that it's lighter. Well, to me, it feels lighter. We're going to find out in a bit if that's true. And on the other side here, it just says Schrade. Old timer here and old timer also here. Now, I'll tell you right off, I re-tipped this. So the tip was broken and I sharpened it a bit so to give it a kind of an edge because it didn't have an edge. I had to take a little bit of metal off of that to do some sharpening because it was just rusted black all over the place, no edge whatsoever to speak of. So when I weigh this, take that into consideration. Now, that being said, I want to show you the tangs and how thick they are. To me, the traditional 152 old timer looks thicker, like it's maybe 0.5 millimeter or 1 millimeter thicker. And it's easily seen or when you look at it from the butt over here. The butt. Now, I like the Chinese knife. It's very utilitarian, but you can see there is a difference in thickness, even right around this section right there. So we're going to weigh it. First thing I'm going to do is break out my little scale, and we're going to set it to grams. See if I can reposition this a little bit better. I'm going to set it to grams. That's in ounces, pounds, kilograms, grams. So We'll start with the new one. The new one weighs a total of 90 grams. 90 grams. Okay. Now keep in mind that I did take some metal off of this one and it had a broken tip. The old one weighs 113 grams. Okay, so we're talking 23 grams difference, and that's because a little bit of metal's missing. I bet you it would go as high as maybe 25 or 30 grams on a good condition older 152. So there is a difference in the metal, guys. The one that's made in China has lighter metal and less of it. The old 152 carbon blade, carbon steel, is 114 grams, 113, 114, and it has more metal and it's wider. So there's a reason why these older knives command a little bit more of a premium than the new ones, because you can get a new one at eBay probably for $10 with the sheath from China. But if you want an old one, you can probably expect to pay somewhere in the neighborhoods of $25, $30 for an old one. I have to tell you, it's probably worth it. All right, guys. Until then, this is Knife Detector with another short video for all of you knifeaholics and knife aficionados. Don't forget to please like and subscribe, and stay sharp, guys.